Welcome back to the Condor Blue booth at CineGear 2025. We've got my great friend Brady Bessette here with me. How you doing, Brady?
I am doing fantastic. It's good to be back on the Condor stage here at CineGear, and I missed it. It's been too long to be up here.
Yeah, it's good to have you back. Well, I noticed that we both got something a little unique here clamped to our mic.
Yeah, let's just get straight into it. Because you got one and I got one, and I guess everybody's thinking it. We should probably talk about it.
Let's talk about it. What is this thing?
Well, what I got here, it's called a CineJaw, and it's not just for mics, although it can be used for mics. But we just created this, and we are just announcing this for the first time ever. These new jaws.
There we go. They're
Here.
pretty sweet.
I got to keep mine on here, but I've got a second one I can talk about.
Oh, you got a second
Now
one.
listen. So I think when I'm on set, and I'm just going to get straight into like use case, if that's
Yeah.
okay. When I'm on set, I need something that is versatile, that does a lot of things, and kind of I go to for either utility purposes or kind of like save me in a pinch type use.
Yeah.
And something that you never really know exactly what you're going to have to run into with either rigging a camera or rigging a light or doing something quick and getting weird things in weird places. So that's kind of my motivation on like what I would want out of kind of, if I could say, a perfect clamp, a perfect use for this. And then, I mean, so we started talking about this how long ago? Like 6 months ago?
The clamp, yeah, probably about 6 months
Yeah.
ago. But yeah, so it's been a journey. But
Yeah.
we've flirted with ideas back and forth for close to 2 years now.
Yeah,
so,
no, we've been trying to come up with the right thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've been talking about, I mean, it's from when you and I started, we knew that it'd be somewhere around like lighting or some sort of solution that could work for lighting or work for rigging or work for kind of on-set stuff.
Yeah, the initial thought that I had is that the gripology world has been pretty stale the last several decades, honestly. While we've seen so much changing in not only the lighting tech, but of course cameras as well. Everything's getting smaller and more powerful.
Uh-huh.
And so I really felt that Condor Blue is uniquely positioned to be able to do some things a bit differently, just like how, quite honestly, I feel we approach everything different, from the cages to other connecting accessories. So to me, it doesn't feel so much like a departure of Condor Blue's purpose, but this like helps evolve and expand on that mission. So
Yeah, I definitely agree. Should we talk about kind of the thought that we put into as far as placing things where and start
Yeah.
to get into that and kind of reverse engineer it?
Yeah, let's do that, because I know that some people have had questions about why this, where it's at, and there's definitely been thought.
Yeah.
Nothing is on here by chance. It's very intentional. So yeah, let's go through it.
So like I kind of started with, versatility is a big thing. So I want to be able to put things anywhere. Like I put this clamp on this chair and rig off a camera. I want to be able to have the option to easily attach some sort of friction arm or multi-purpose arm, whatever, and then to rig off and place a camera right here. Or say I need something quick. A lot of the time, something I do is take a clamp and throw a light on it, either on the ground or up on a weird grid like we have above us or something like that.
Right.
But I don't want to have to bring all these unique little pieces to make all of each individual use case happen. So we thought about that with kind of each and every side of the clamp. And I guess if we were to get into it, right on the back, we see a lot of different mounting options that are on the back. So we've got the NATO rail that's all along this back rib, but on that there's also the 3/8 and the 1/4-20 with the locating pins in them. Now, for me, I mean, with locating pins, or just alone adding the locating pins and just keeping things from spinning out and backing out, it's such a game changer for me. It's such a simple thing that sometimes a lot of people don't put thought into, of like,
Right.
other than torquing whatever it is that you're putting in there, it's gonna back out, or it's just gonna slowly kind of loosen up and just wiggle around. So that's one of the things. But what other thoughts did we put into this?
Yeah, so for me, I wanted this hybrid between a super clamp that I use a lot and Cardellini's, which I use a lot, but both have a lot of flaws in my opinion. Cardellini's are pretty easy to bind. The machining process it leaves something to be desired in my opinion. They're heavy, and this here, I wanted something that could clamp really well to both flat and round surfaces. So we've got a great jaw that does that. I think even the size of the jaws. So we've got a wider jaw on top than on bottom.
Yeah.
And that sort of triangulates the load. That's really great. We've got a lot of bolt storage on here for useful bolts. Even an option to mount through the top, which is really unique.
Yeah.
And I think that the NATO on the bottom clamp, a lot of people have been asking, oh, why didn't you do that on the top? And that's, in my opinion, there's a lot of reasons. One, you mentioned keeping it really thin. We've got a very thin top jaw where you could slide this in to many places, like on different sets, and still have the room you need, and then still have useful, one, access to the tightening knob, which I think is super important because, man, the amount of times that I've been up against the ceiling with like a super clamp and I'm just like, I've got to tighten it most of the way, then pivot into the position.
Yeah, and then you got to move it around a little bit. Yeah.
It's rough, And so this addresses all of those concerns, on top of which we've got an oversized safety loop here, which, safety first on set. It's really important.
Yeah. And also I've been talking with a few people around the show, and they've actually said, obviously not the use that we put into it, but putting on little carabiners or hooking things onto it, or even like attaching, like one gentleman I was talking to said, use it kind of as a pancake on the ground or on a weird area, and putting a sandbag onto this and adding it as a different bit of leverage. So it's nothing that we put thought into, but people have already been coming to me with some pretty unique uses.
I mean, on that note, you could flip it upside down and stake it to the ground and then clamp it onto, like the bottom part of, 8x or something.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of options on how you can keep things secure.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree. And that's kind of what goes back to it, because especially with the way the industry is right now, there's a lot of people just doing things quick and scrappy as well. And you need something, say, when I'm driving in my Bronco, to rig it up on the ceiling, or when I'm out in the woods, put it on a tree branch or something like that, and just be able to have a minimal solution to be able to take care of whatever I need. And then I'm trying to think of what else, because I know we're missing something. But
I think that we're missing two somethings. So I think you should pull out the rest of what we're
right.
missing.
You're right. I think we are missing something. So this isn't the only thing that we're introducing here at CineGear, which is also the Cine pins.
Correct.
So these are something that, honestly, this is kind of the root of everything where we started.
Absolutely.
And something I'm very, very excited about. So now we're introducing two variations of this. Essentially, these are just baby pins to be able to be the base of rigging, whether it's camera, whether it's lighting, with a 3/8, which we can change to a 1/4-20, and a NATO rail option for now.
Right.
Now, these can be used on the clamp, but not to be limited to be used on the clamp. I think everybody's familiar. Baby pins are kind of the root of a lot of rigging in filmmaking. It's been that standard for decades and decades. So being able to have something that opens up a wider range of versatility is huge, in my opinion.
I agree. And especially with how ubiquitous cages have gotten on cameras on set, and even what we're doing to expand that use case and functionality, the way that I would use this, even on a car rigging scenario, typically in the past, we were limited to just mounting from the bottom mounting plate on the camera. And typically that'd be whatever drop-in or dovetail system you've got, which is okay. But I always view design as what's your weakest link and go back from there. And so ideally you're not having a weak link, you're making a strong, multifaceted approach to this. And this really ties into that. So with these baby pins, we've got NATO rails on all the sides of our Condor Blue cages. And if not, on rare case, we do have anti-twist pins mounts on every side. And so you could mount these directly to the cage, use a conjunction of magic arms, our Kofi cups for the suction cups, and then these clamps. And you've got a really awesome hybrid car rig solution, or really wherever you're mounting your camera.
Yeah, it's obviously, I think we go to car rig because we were talking about the Kofi cups. We were talking about this on a car and stuff, but it's not limited to that. One time, even just the other day, I had an FX3. I threw it way up on a combo stand, like 15 feet up, which is, try at your own risk. But one thing with a lot of these kind of older baby pins is you just crank them, and you crank them till they stop. And they're probably going to back out, or they're probably going to crack something on the other side of it. And the simple solution is putting the locating pins in it, the anti-twist pins. So then you just bolt it in, it's there, and it's not going anywhere. And it's such a simple thing, but a solution for that of just sticking this in the base of your camera, whether it's on a combo pod way up, or whatever use you're using, just putting that thought into it. And I know a lot of people are very excited about just putting the anti-twist pin so it's not going to back out, or you
Right.
got to spend time cranking it and then bending the camera to try to get it in place.
One of my favorite things on the anti-twist one specifically as well is that it's not limiting. So not only does it come with the 3/8 stud, but it also comes with quarter 20.
Yep.
And then the airy pins you can put in either the wider 3/8 positioning or narrow them in to the quarter 20 spacing, which is a bit tighter. Or you could do one pin or no pins. Like,
yeah.
so that like really
It's got a lot of uses.
Yeah, definitely a lot of flexibility. And then the NATO clamp, the way that it works, the way that we are integrating like captive hardware, so you're not losing critical pieces on set.
Yeah.
It's all a big part of the story for us. And so I think that, you know, there's nothing worse than being on set and you show up with everything. You remembered all 100 items, but you forgot a tiny little bolt. And so
Yeah.
we're trying to avoid that as much as possible with how we're doing this. And so I'm pumped on how these turn out.
I'm very thrilled, and I'm gonna see the worlds collide here. They're durable, guys.
They're
we
durable.
can drop them.
They're durable.
We've done drop tests, but where the worlds collide is where the pins meet the clamp, and I'm gonna plug a few things out because just the other day we rigged a light right above us here on this, but that's one thing that excites me as well. It's not just using these individually and just using clamps individually. You can rig them together to, like we mentioned before with lights, throw this on a table or a weird like 2x4 on the ceiling. Then you've got I like the NATO for that. It just feels nice and secure. Slide it on the back. It's not working because it's on a microphone, but you guys get the idea of throwing off whatever it's this way, you know, rigging on a side thing. But you've also got the NATO that's on the inner jaw as well. So it gives you versatility of always having kind of a strong point of contact, whichever way you rotate the clamp, which we put some thought into. Where do we want to place the NATOs? Where do we want to place the mounting as well?
And I think that that's an interesting point you bring up too, because typically these products are the product is the end all be all for the thing, right? Like the super clamp, it's got a couple holes in it. Cardellini, it's got the baby pin on it, and that's it. But these, because of the accessories and the way that we're mounting to it, it's endless. So like you mentioned, we've got the marble orbit going around us. On this end, we've got
I see it.
We've actually got the baby pin being used vertically to hold weights. We're clamping onto the rod, and then on the other side we still have open mounts, so we mounted a V-mount plate and then have our battery there. So
it looks beautiful up there. I wish you guys could see it.
It's definitely like, I mean, I love the Instagram page Shitty Rigs, just because it's you know, we've all been there. We're all in that pinch, and filmmaking's about, you know, finding that creative solution. This is like a legit, like, no, that's kosher. Like it's done well, and I have no like gripes about it being like unsafe, you know.
So you're saying that this will never be shown on Shitty Rigs?
It better not. I mean, this is way too good for that. So,
but I really am excited about it. I'm excited for because I've been walking around the show and seeing thoughts on it, like how would you use it, and getting an idea for all the different use cases for it, and that excites me. I like kind of like the puzzle piecing and engineering of the film industry, the problem solving of it. Like, I've got this thing, how can I make this work, and how can I make this work fast? So I've been asking, you know, like, what are people's thoughts on doing weird things? I want to know, like, how weirdly this can be used on film set. Like, what is that weird solution that's going to save you in a pinch? Because I was thinking, like, for mic stuff, because I always forget when I'm running a boom mic out, I always forget the freaking thing to bite the yoke to like hold the boom arm out.
Right.
And I was like, oh, I could just stick this in a grip head, and now I've got a little mic, just like what's going on here. So,
and it'd be great. We got nice pads, so to have some vibration isolation, and heck, you could mount a few other things off there, or even mount some Mondo ties on there and have some cable management for your XLR. So
I should see how much we can put onto this at once and really push the limits.
And that's the fun thing. We wrote down scenario after scenario that we could come up with and that we've been experienced on set, and I think we achieved all of those really well. But I know that there's so much more beyond, where it's just like, it's going to be in that moment, and this is going to be the piece of gear that comes to mind to really solve it. So for me, it's cool that this clamp exists on its own, but I see this, and like this isn't trying to be this ginormous product placement. We are genuinely passionate about this whole process.
Yeah.
You were very involved. It wasn't just like, hey, we slapped your name on it.
Oh yeah.
There's a lot of late night texts, back and forth, weekends. Like this was a thing. Yeah. Hey, I don't know if you're on your phone, but it's 1 a.m.
And I respond right away and be like, send me pictures.
So many times.
I've been so excited about this process from the beginning. It's fun to be involved, and it's fun to, you know, I was thinking last week, I'm going up on a project right now where we're going to be doing a lot of hiking, and I can't bring stands, but I want to light because I'm me. I can't not light. So I'm like, what the heck am I going to do without stands? And I was like, wait, we've been going back and forth with the solution for that, which is this, of being able to rig this on either walls or corners or shelving or whatever, and then this compared with the coffee cups.
Yep.
And then we got baby pins to rig on windows and walls and all of that. And I don't even need to bring stands because hiking 10 miles in the woods in wherever we're going to be doesn't sound fun. I don't want to do that.
Yeah.
I don't want to bring stands. So
yeah,
it's fun to have this solution kind of almost fall into place of like, we've been working on this for months and months now. And now it's like, oh, I need this.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like a very kind of full circle, or you could call it rewarding feeling of like, oh, maybe it does work.
Yeah. It'll be great. I'm super excited to see how you guys use it. I'm excited to see how you use it, Brady. I'm excited to use it on set. So let's get out there and shoot.
Let's do that. Well,
okay.
I think we're coming to an end here. So I appreciate you guys for being here. I appreciate Condor. I appreciate all of this. It's always a blast being on the stage here. So everybody go check out the Cine Jaws, check out the Cine Pins, and, you know, everything else Condor has to offer as well. But that's a wrap here.
All right.
Thanks, guys.
We'll see you guys.
See you next time.